And I couldn't finish talking about individual players without mentioning one guy today who at 1-0 and at 2-0 and at 3-0 and at 4-0 was still saving his team. And that's Alisson Becker. Alisson Becker, he is, for me, better than any peak goalkeeper in the last 15 to 20 years. Goalies at their peak, I'm talking. Not guys that retired in the last 20 years whose peak was 25 years ago. But I can't think of a better goalkeeper. And I genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean it. I'm going to rephrase that again. Alisson Becker is the best goalie I've seen in the past 20 years. Tell me a better goalie. Tell me a better goalie with his feet, distribution, one-on-ones, commanding the box from crosses, shot stopping. Tell me a better goalie that you know in the last 20 years. And then quantify why he's better. Quantify why he's better. Manuel Neuer, this man is better. This man is better than Manuel Neuer. He is. Manuel Neuer is a pioneer. For me, was the first, in my memory, the first sweeper keeper. But he's better than his feet with him. He's a better shot stopper than him. He's better than Manuel Neuer. He's better than any goalie I've seen play in the last 20 years. He is an absolute powerhouse. He is an absolute demon in goal, but he's so reliable. He's so formidable, impenetrable. He's an absolute star. And I genuinely mean this. Casillas, one of the greats. Alisson's better. Buffon, one of the greats. Alisson's better. Petr Cech, one of the greats. Alisson's better. He is the best goalie I've seen in the past 2 decades. Going back further than that, and maybe it's a little unfair putting the Buffons in there and these guys because they were from a different era where they weren't taught as kids to play with their feet. He's the best modern day goalkeeper that we've seen. He's the best modern day. But I even think as a shot stopper, he competes with everyone. The only person that I think that he's neck and neck with on shot stopping is Peter Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel was just next level. Alisson Becker is out of this world. You look at that team: Becker in goal, Silva, Casemiro, Neymar, Vinny Jr., Richarlison up front. Again, as I say with Richarlison, one of the best number 9s in the world internationally. I don't care what he... Right now, we're talking the World Cup. It doesn't matter how good or bad he is in the Prem. What he's doing internationally, he's there. He is... This team, they're by far the favourites. They're by far the favourites. Whoever wins out of Portugal and Spain and Morocco, England, France, you got to be able to beat these guys. And they have everything. They have the flair. They have the defensive stability. And if you break through all of that and you get through on goal, Alisson says, you shall not pass. Yeah, out of this world. Absolutely out of this world. And listen, you guys can say I'm being disrespectful to Manuel Neuer. I don't care. I think Alisson Becker is better. I think he's better. He's better passer, better distributor, as good a sweeper, as good at one-on-ones, better shot stopper, barely makes mistakes. And the point is, Manuel Neuer has been doing it longer. So you kind of, you could say the longevity bits there with Manuel Neuer. This Alisson's going to do this for another 10 to 15 fucking years. Alisson Becker is one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen play football. He's one of the greats. One of the greats. And people can say it's crazy, say I'm talking cap. Come at me with facts then and tell me why I'm wrong. Don't just say I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. You can't. Alisson is not a very good passer. Oh, come on. You said he's not a good passer. Sorry to laugh. My word. Again, if I'm wrong, if somebody, £10,000 to someone that can phone up and prove me wrong. You've got to stumble bum me, so I have no response. £10,000 prize. Let's go. Link's going out now. £10,000 if you can prove to me. So you stop me in my tracks. I can't respond to your point. £10,000 cash in your bank account to disprove my opinion that Alisson Becker is the best goalie of the last 20 years. Let's go. £10,000. I can take the challenge. Come on, Terry. That's cool. Joshua Jack, he's actually here. He's backstage. He's going to take on the challenge. Remember, you got to stumble bum me. I call it stumble bumming. Stumble bumming, where I'm like, and I have nothing left to say. This is going to be scary. Will someone finally get the money? Joshua Jack, what you saying?
You hear me, Terry?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I hear your point about that, about Allison. And I hear you saying that about recently, but he's really coming his peak at 2018. Would you agree, right?
Who, Alisson?
Yes.
I mean,
No. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I mean that's a fair. He's been on it. He started his peak and he's continued it through for the last 4 years. He's still, for me, riding it. But yes.
Okay. So Petr, for example, between '04 when he debuted at Chelsea to 2014, I can make an argument was better than Allison. One, his distribution was better. Two, he was better in terms of clutch saves. Would you agree that he was better than Allison?
So I think when it comes to shot stopping with Petr,
Yes.
you've got a great argument that Petr as a shot stopper is as good as Alisson Becker. I can accept that as an argument. But then you add in all the other areas, okay? The one-on-ones, I think Alisson Becker is barring Schmeichel, the best I've ever seen at that. There is the sweeper keeper element. Petr couldn't do it. Passing out from the back, Petr can't do it. So when I'm reviewing every element of a modern day goalkeeper, Petr on shot stopping is the same as Alisson Becker, in my opinion. They're very close. Some will say Czech, some will say Alisson, but all the other attributes I mentioned, Czech isn't close to him.
I was going to say I had two more people I like to put.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say him because you ruined one of my points. So I'll give you that. I was gonna say Buffon, but you ruined that point. But I will argue with the previous super chat about Neuer, not just his time at Bayern, but his time at Schalke.
Mm-hmm.
He was looked at around the world when he was at Schalke, and like I look at Neuer. Neuer changed the game. He's the reason why Alisson where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Because before Neuer, who would you say was the best goalkeeper to do passing, distribution, sweeper keeper?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know many before him that were doing it. So do you know what I would say to you? I agree with you, and I said it in my speech. Manuel Neuer, for me, is the pioneer of the sweeper keeper era. He has a greater legacy in the game than Alisson Becker right now. That is
I agree with you.
Truthful. But I am not talking legacy. I'm talking about individually, as individual footballers, who do I think is better? And if I had to pick Manuel Neuer from 2012, 2013, so 10 years ago, or Alisson Becker now at this point, and I could put them either one into my team, I would pick Alisson Becker because I think because of the evolution of the game, I think he does the things that Manuel Neuer invented better. You know, the overlapping and crossing from a fullback. Gary Neville was one of the pioneers of that. It's why his podcast is called The Overlap, right? But you would probably admit that modern day fullbacks are better at attacking than Gary Neville, yes?
Yes. Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah, go for it.
If Klopp had a chance to pick Alisson now or Neuer, who do you think he'll pick?
That's a very interesting question.
Because Jurgen Klopp will pick him. He'll pick Neuer over or Alisson. If you gave Klopp those two opportunities, those two goalkeepers in their peak, who do you think he's going to pick?
That is a very, very good question, and I'm going to go with Alisson Becker because Jurgen Klopp is a very, very loyal man. He's a loyal man. He's an honorable man. Listen, Joshua Jack, great try. I'll give you a lot of credit because most people don't come on and try. No one tries to take on the king, but you did. I respect it, Josh. We'll speak again soon, brother.
Thank you, Terry.
Friend. Listen, I've got a lot of time and credit for him for coming on and trying. But again, didn't stumble. Next on the show, Chike's here to try. What are you saying, Chike?
Listen, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try, but I just have to tell you that you are really smoking crack, Terry. Because for you to sit there and say that Alisson is better than Neuer, De Gea, Casillas, Courtois, you've got to be smoking some kind of crack, man. I am so sorry. How you can sit there on your high horse and tell millions and millions of people on YouTube that Alisson is better than those goalkeepers, you got to be smoking something, Terry.
Why?
Because are you really because what are those? One, fine, okay. Those guys are far better. I mean, come on, Terry. I've seen to see his play.
Now what you're doing is you're going to the other extreme. You're saying by far better than Alisson. That's a big.
Yes.
Saying far better than Alisson is more cap than me saying Alisson is slightly better than them.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just telling you that those guys are way better than Alisson. They really are. I've
Why?
seen.
Okay, based on what? Quantify.
Shot stopping ability, passing. Okay, I'll agree with you that the head. No, come on, Terry. No.
How can you say there's never been there's no goalie in the world who is far better at passing than Alisson?
Manuel Neuer.
No, but he's not far. If you think he's better, he isn't.
No, how is he not better than Alisson?
No.
I've seen Manuel Neuer.
Chike, answer this point.
Okay.
Better and far better are two different things. Okay.
I'll agree with you on that.
So far better is an exaggeration.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. I think they're better. Okay, fair enough. I think they're better than Alisson, but I think they're better than Alisson, but that's not to say that Alisson won't be there. But I'm just saying that those 5 keepers are all better than Alisson. And I know some have. No, really, I'm just.
And that's a fair point. I just disagree. Alisson is just he's next level. He's next level. I've never been this scared of a goalkeeper. Never been this scared of a goalkeeper. Chike, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say.
You're always the best, and I like. Oh, also, before I go, please, you're going on with Lee Gunner tomorrow, right?
Thursday, me and Lee Gunner are going live.
Okay, please debate this topic because I will sit back and see what Lee Gunner thinks. Please debate this topic for sure. Because I want to see what Lee Gunner thinks. But I just think those 5 are better. But thank you so much, Terry. I know you got loads to do and you got people backstage. But thank you for having me.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye. Abdi super chatted and said he wants to come on. Let me come on and win 10K. What are you saying, Abdi?
Terry, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. What do you want to say, bro?
So what's your argument that Alisson is better than Neuer? Is it that are you going off of this season or the last few seasons with Liverpool? Well, my argument is that barring, in fact, no, even including Alisson, I've never seen a goalkeeper be more complete than Neuer. His distribution is unmatched. His passing is like it's better, is on par with the midfielders of today's football. He has, even statistically, if you look at he's a better shot stopper than Alisson. He's got a higher percent. He's in the higher percentile for safe percentages. He's got a higher clean sheet percentage, and you've got to bear in mind that he plays in a system with a very high line where he's played with the likes of clowns with like Boateng and Dante earlier on, and Upamecano and Sule and Theo Hernandez. So not really the best defenders. They're more, especially with the German style of play, they like to box you in with that high line and keep you in their half. So he has to really have command of his box and has to come out a lot. So not only does his distribution have to be on point in order to get the team up the pitch, but also he has to be wary of counterattacks. His one-on-ones, he's like immaculate. He puts the fear of God in players like Messi and Ronaldo. If you ask them, they shit their pants every time they get, have to face Neuer. He saved a Ronaldo penalty, the 11-12 Champions League semi-final, I think. What do you call it? He battered Messi's Barcelona prime 7-0, 8-2. What else? He's just statistically he's a better shot stopper, because not only is he a higher percentile for save percentages and goals against and kind of and shots.
You raised some great points. What I will say, there's a little bit of like revisionism in there. Like Boateng for Bayern Munich wasn't a bad.
No, like he wasn't a bad defender, but I'd say
let me just finish. So not a bad defender. Liverpool play with a suicidal high line in a much better league. You will agree that the Premier League is a better quality league than the Bundesliga?
I would say so, but I would say
my point is, let me just finish my point. So Liverpool play with a high line, okay, with a bum on the right defensively in a league that's better. So it doesn't surprise me that the
Yeah,
percentage, and let me just finish. It
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me that the level of shots stopped or maybe marginally higher for Manuel Neuer. When it comes to the pass like completion side of things, as an example, even if like that's one area where you say, well, he's better than him or he's better than there, but you only got to look at it now. I just looked here in the Champions League this year, Alisson 86%, Manuel Neuer 80%. In their leagues this year, they're both on 85%. Last season, Alisson averaged 3% better pass completion than Manuel Neuer. 2 seasons ago, Manuel Neuer averaged 7% better pass completion than him. So I've just randomly looked at the last 3 years, including this season, and
Yeah.
Alisson's pass completion rate is better than only marginally. So for me, there's nothing you've said about Manuel Neuer that I overtly disagree with. I just think Alisson is slightly better than him overall. But
Could
what
you-
people are getting twisted is that a lot of people are hearing that as you're saying Manuel Neuer is bad. I just think Alisson is slightly better than one of the other greatest goalkeepers of all time. That's all I'm saying, my friend.
Could you look at then the pass completion rates of Neuer in his prime? Because I'd say right now he's nowhere near. He's off his prime. His prime was about from like 2013 to about like 2017.
So
Because he
I'll
had
do
like a
it,
toe. He had like a toe.
bro, I'll do it for you.
Broken toe.
Bro, so I can only go back as far as 2014 on Squawka, but in 2014-15, 86%. We'll go to the following year here, and it was 80%. So even in his prime, it was between the 80s and 85s. It hasn't changed. So like Alisson's doing the same thing. So yeah,
It's the same thing. Yeah. So if
still
then
the same.
this,
But like I've said, when it comes to the legendary status and the legacy of Manuel Neuer, never would I claim that Alisson has surpassed that yet, or maybe he won't. But I think purely on the ability element, I prefer him to him, mate. But listen, great call. Brilliant points being raised there, my friend. Really enjoyed that. Top man. And we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.